Anyway, let me just switch over to Great Ace Attorney. Talking enough, so I want to switch over to get this started. It is 12:44. Looking at the text, I should be able to do both trials tonight. I don't think I'm gonna do... I know I'm just looking at the length of it, so I don't know much outside of that, but we will see where we are at standing wise.
Also, I have noticed that in Sotor City, we're starting to backtrack our way backwards in the... Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bunkers. When we need to go forwards for your guys' one mission.
Pretty much.
Which told you we neglected your guys' one.
Yeah. If only we did that earlier, then we could have at least got that out with yours over there, since we traveled all the way over there. There's no fast travel to the far end of the map, so we have to go travel all the way.
They should have put one down there, at least a little, maybe like good of ways of the way, sort of close to it.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't, and they're not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, they just added planet events, and yeah.
All right. Just gonna leave my window open. Gonna get this reading on station. Okay, so
I'm probably gonna head off to bed, take my meds, and
sounds good. Have a good night, Will.
Call it a night for me. So, yep. So, good night to everybody. Yep. So, good night.
Night. All right, so I'm gonna start with Great Ace Attorney. I'm gonna do as what I said before when I tried this. I'm gonna try to read a little bit faster and probably skim some things. So, we're gonna go see how this plays out. Yeah. Gonna boost up the music a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so what happened last time? Well, where Reaper Von Karma is being trialed for murder of Gregson. Poor Gregson. I didn't even ask him for the tip of how to make infinite fish and chips. It will solve a lot of hunger issues. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no, it's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There is a menacing tension in the air today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. Little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to details, however. I understand that no jury has been selected. Oh, I don't get to do the thing again. Oh, yeah. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like a trial of the professor 10 years ago. A closed court. Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes. Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruto? An outright victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Aha! What to one man is a little hair problem is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. Oh, you have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid that you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. But he had to use different wording. And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow, compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases. The Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be your eye for a good lawyer, sir. Mr. Sholmes. After all, behind this lawyer, there is a very great mind. My own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Reaper, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there's some fruits to see. Oh, yes, Gina? Why do you agree to this, eh? Why do you take him on, eh? Why do you take him on? This the Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him what? Tis him what killed the boss. I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a he's just a person at the end of the day. Ooh. And if it turned out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him. God help him. Blech. Can't really do that accent well. Fiery eyes, indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least that may be some solace to the deceased. Please, Odo. Get whoever did this for the boss. Oh, Gina. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you gotta find who done this and make the wretch pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please. All right then, here we go. It's time, Mr. Naruto. Lord Von Zeeks. Well, time to see how far this trial goes. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. one who lost the man who helped her escape this destitution. Why words be big? Small word, please. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look it straight in the eye. He is white. He is thick. He is Chad.
In the name of Her Majesty.
Huh?
He is thick.
He is thick. You'll see it in a second.
In the name of Her Majesty, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct a fair and just trial of the defendant, Baruch von Zix. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin?
Defense is ready, my lord. There he is. Look at those chiseled. Look at those chiseled arms, James. It's so tight on him. You can see all his defined muscle. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long. It feels... But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench.
The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been scourged like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind this scourge.
In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder.
The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial, with no members of the public present, by Her Majesty's direct orders.
How will that work, my lord?
The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the jurors' bench shall remain vacant today.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
There are members of the judiciary here to witness proceedings and ensure the equitable trial.
Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial today, already.
There are, of course, another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and defense are both aliens of Great Britain.
Aliens! Aliens! I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. As I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain this is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma?
Very well, let us commence the proceedings. Prosecutor Asoji, your opening statement, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st of November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property.
Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago.
A professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard a gunshot and all reported at the same time. Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. And I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly.
How has the range been determined?
There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range.
Ah, yes, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel.
The autopsy report has been returned to the courtroom. Court record. The murder weapon was found lying up beside the victim.
And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm?
No, my lord. No, not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama, for not trying to use gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Furthermore, my lord, as I have explained, the revolver was fired extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candelabrum. I think that's that's what you say. Candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. This ending of the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord.
Is this Fresno Street Room Inspector Greggson's private abode?
No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. But there is a precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably, he was investigating some case or other. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witness and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
So, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness.
A name, please, Counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself. Lord Von Zeeks. As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of the office he's taken and will be compelled to tell the truth.
Very well. Let the defendant take the witness stand.
Oh, this is awkward. But this reminds me of Edgeworth. The Edgeworth Kate in the first Kith. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Baroque Von Zeeks, Old Bailey prosecutor.
I presume, Lord Von Zeeks, that you heard the prosecutor Soji's opening praxis.
I mean, he was sitting in a room. I did.
It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this?
Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth.
I must say, Lord Von Zeeks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come, but since you became known as a Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony, then. Witness.
Witness me! I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right. You are right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor SOG.
It would appear to be a singular tale indeed.
Singular isn't the word. It's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all.
Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. God, I hate using that voice. Ugh. Alright, let's see what we got. I stole into his office? Yes, is that how you say it in old English? Interesting. Oh? This is going bad to worse. Interesting.
Hold it!
You're supposed to be the Reaper. He has a heart? Oops. I want to press this.
Hold it! Objection!
Ooh. Hold on. Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused Baroque von Zeeks is lying on multiple fronts. What is that supposed to mean?
Good gracious, counsel. The defendant is lying, you say?
In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? I was going to present that. You examine. I'm wondering if these are like translation errors or is this actual how they spell it. You examine the tip of the long candle. You can see it was blown off by a powerful impact.
One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Yes, I could see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long.
We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all 3 candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because the particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. That's right. When the candle was hit by a bullet, it obviously went out. But the other 2 candles would still have been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. And now to the next lie. There's more? I think it's about time I close the window, because it's now, I think it's cool enough for me to work with it. There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Oop. Let me move this over here, yeah. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police document cannot be divulged. However, they include a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there is a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed, what is the common thread, Counsel?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Baroque von Zieks. All of them? And furthermore, all of those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good Lord!
Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today. Because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Oh no. Not all of them. 2 people are acquitted and are still alive. Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
Backwards? Explain, Counsel.
Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What?
Order. Very well. I hereby state the concurrent opinion of the court. Baroque von Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is a deep regret that I must concur with the prosecutor and Soji's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts.
All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Cousin has done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case. And it's formidable.
Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed as the court as evidence. I believe it's fundamental to establishing the facts surrounding the Ripper's existence.
Thank you, my lord. Before we continue, there is a few things I'm definitely going to look at. I examined all of these, I'm fairly certain. Ah, serial number. Interesting. Yeah, we checked this one, which is a hidden key. There's a lot of pieces that don't fit right with this and his claim. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioning in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard gunshots and went running into the room.
Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand.
Certainly, my lord. That guy has giant lip. What? I've seen you before. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court.
Blames? Just have blames.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like. Live where we want to live.
I give all the vacant stare as they walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. Would I be right to assume that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me Guff. I sell country road tidbits to passengers we know.
Oh, that guy is gonna spit all over my desk because of how I'm talking with him. Blech. Jaunty little tidbits.
Right up the grill, yes. Suspense place, but and not a place.
Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is.
Pay the man, counsel.
Why do I have to pay it? All right. 6 pence it is.
Not against the position is one. British and us, a couple of short street, have just had twins.
Is that it?
No, the certainly is considered it's lunch to spread, but that's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more to know what's to do. Print that to page. Please, your prayers.
I am curious, yes, about what's going on under that fat bottom lip of yours. Name that unusual bruise, or whatever it is that's poking out under your collar. What about the next witness then? What name do you go by, and what do you sell?
Me? Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, ain't it? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a danger zone.
Sixpence a pop. What do you say?
You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they still do they actually sell?
Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them if they get 100, they could blow up a school.
Not the most savory ideas, young ladies.
What did you say then, eh? Want a part of the sixpence up for a pop?
Wait, what? You want me to buy one?
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you buy 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Tried a woman.
Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, counsel.
Why do I? All right. I'll buy one.
Lovely stuff there, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. In a special, only 600 pence.
600?
100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there?
And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. And the Latwitness, what name do you go by and what do you sell?
I think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. Therefore I think. Because I stand there, I see what and the word go on about me. They call me the Observator.
Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls me sandwich, and you know it. So, you don't actually sell anything?
Problem shared is a problem halved. As they say, I give advice I do and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. No, come to think of it.
Pity. No more purchases today, please.
Well, we've got quite the cast here, it seems.
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed this crime.
Play, I will really beggars, but thought, lawsuit between us.
Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw.
What I think is all what we see is light and shadow. Play with our eyes. Is any of it real?
Very well. Court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
You saw the whole thing, not the incident. Everything's on the bubble through it. Building.
It was less than a minute from after the Reaper had gone inside, and what we all heard a big bang, bang, bang.
To me, the quick to talk is quick to walk, gossip. Couldn't wait to go and see what had happened.
I ran into the room, and there he was, the Reaper, the gun, and had clearly over the dead body.
I was scared half to death me, so I ran off to find a copper.
If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Spectre Gregson, and the accused, Rourke von Zeeks.
I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what they look like. and I've laden myself. I tidy some already.
But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats and Fresno seats are unoccupied. The room in which the inspector was found is only the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the lease holder's name, don't we? It's Yu Bone.
The testimony court has just heard, would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's become increasingly difficult to see how any other than the defendant could have committed the crime.
No. Thank you for the condor, my lord.
Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examination of the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. There's a lot of problems with this testimony, I'm just saying.
Hold it!
I don't know. I see. なるほどね。Is there anything I can... Oh, there it is.
Like,
Okay. Good night, James.
you too.
I'm reading intensely. Hmm. I have to do a BRB really quickly. I have the checks. Ugh. Okay, let's see. What a burden to bear. What? Guess somebody screamed like a little girl.
Hold it!
Gonna slow down a little bit because it's around here. Stinking fly still flying around. I got like 2 flies. If there's any way to just instantly kill all of them, I would love to know.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? Sandwich!
There's really nothing to me empty in head as
What? With me?
Well, I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something? Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. His last statement was...
What I think is we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
It is not as if I was keep a flap now. This is what you want us to make us be serious savage.
When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it.
Oh, you rotten beggar. I'm trying to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is that true?
The floor.
That's why. Since if my head whose blood been bright. Look,
What? A pool of blood?
this is here. But I was falling on the floor. I still kept giving the head falsely, and don't you forget.
Let's go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand?
That's it. This is the best of us that blonde blood in it. I hold on forever, flipped over. You should keep it the ice, Hefty.
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Blessed. Witness will amend this testimony to include aforementioned details at once.
Hold it! Objection.
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room? Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what if you let me teach that bloody?
Objection.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. Why is his hand just like...
Objection.
Nope. What exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Soji. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint in blood left very clearly on the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Yes, indeed. Indisputably, a handprint is distinctively colored of blood.
Oh, you're dead right. That's my hand. I lost it everywhere.
Objection.
The witness definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprint on the back of that board are irrelevant.
Objection.
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. And notice the notice board was on the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in the upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled or hobbled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I slid over when I came across the body, so I was literally right next to the car, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
I take it that you have formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy, between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene.
I have, my lord. The discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by... I was thinking like it was the body was closer, but that's not. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down.
Good gracious, so it is. If the witness has pressed his hand against the board, the fingers would be pointing upwards.
What does that tell us? It tells us one simple fact, that this handprint was made. The board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection.
It was a little bit weird, but okay. You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting? Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear at one point.
And that would be?
The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
So the council must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated?
I was like, he said he clearly saw it. So it has to be like right here, right?
Take that!
That was not where I placed it, but I guess it's a large hitbox. This is the only possible location.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway?
If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark. He couldn't see the body.
What?
Black! If the notice board had been there, the body would have been completely hidden from view. And the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection!
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. I don't know about Collins' sleep, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Cause it's Leslie that took the door open. If you look at the floor plan, consider that what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious!
The client has told nothing but the truth, and he has simply described what he saw.
Order! Counsel, how was this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleague saw it when investigating the room.
Witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? But me, my lord.
You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime.
Don't look at me. He's laughing at me. I get the message. I don't know anything about that rose, but I just wiped my hands on it, that's all.
Don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing my business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. That's just a sign for the crossroads of life. I was that leader, I bet, who's got a face that seems bird. Can't see how this changes anything anyway. Detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
So none of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they witnessed, with only the light of a few candles and a little oil lamp by which used to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right. Yeah, it don't pay to expect too much.
It's the man that the knowledge is destroying the world. That's what I think.
Oh wait, that's the wrong person.
That's destroying the world. And it's not. It's really weird. That's what I think.
I gave him the wrong voice. Do you really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Baroque von Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so. Quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Most certainly, my lord.
Very well, you may proceed, counsel.
Hold it!
Well, put your hand on.
Hold it!
Kingdom Come. Wow, they really want to destroy that school. Wow. So she tries to do business. I thought he says acute. Oh, Justin's playing. Oh, all right. All right. Isn't paying attention. I'm okay. Goodbye, everyone. Bye. I'm heading off. Justin's here. I need to end off the stream now. We're gonna end off this case and complete. Yay!
Hold it!
That you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinians. Ugh. I know. What happened to the face that screams bored?
Hold it!
This champ to change the fate. What game was that that changes fate? Oh, Xenoblade. I haven't played Fire Emblem Awakening, so I can't exactly say that would be always my first choice. Alright, we're gonna skip past a few of these dialogue, blah 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 blah.
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich?
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something up, something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts, deep philosophical thoughts.
Hmm?
Let's say there was a great liar. The great liar said, without batting an eye, telling bar-faced lies is kinda my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of her be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar.
That sign's going through his hands, I just noticed.
Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you?
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause a little trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in fireworks and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
You have a certainly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Oh, Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to be from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
Hee hee.
Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all?
What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barred-faced lies, didn't I?
Well, that can get you crime in the prison for a while. Yes, you mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch?
So you did indeed visit the crime scene, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you've come to mention it, I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah.
Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course.
Hold it!
She's like the different version of Gina. Just more mischievous. She touched gossip. Well, you're telling us you did move that board?
I did that. I think that did slip out, didn't it? Didn't it?
That's one pot. That one. I don't believe the girl doesn't think.
So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken perhaps to sell?
Oh, please. I should be so lucky.
In my imagination, the truth, now.
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask. So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it.
Gina?
Young lady, may I remind you where you're at? You are?
That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. A press case, no doubt. Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub.
He has infinite fish and chips. What grub is he waiting for, Gina? I think you're a little crazy.
I see. I swiped it off at him once and blimey, was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Right earful. Right me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the past 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him. That watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that. It's not all that though. I took it to Jebez that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about, and worthless. He called it. Ugh! I knew I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Oh, don't worry, I won't be long. I was considering this to go a little bit longer, and because I know that this part of the trial is short and the other part of the trial is short, but since this took about like 2-ish hours, and I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, I might just call it here and hopefully finish up this case in the next couple weeks. So don't worry, Justin, you're not missing much. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
It's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Now, children, watch your manners. Watch.
Good lord. The glass appears to be broken.
More than likely, it shattered when Inspector Gresham was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jibbiz didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Has been added to the court record. Time to examine it. Not an odd man. He is an odd man. Judge, just hold your statement, just please. I'm solving a puzzle.
How much do I have to stay on this statement?
It's coming right out of his dick. I better start thinking deep. Were you never thinking deeply, Naruhodo? I mean, who thinks deeply? I don't, especially when Yu-Gi-Oh players play the Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Who thinks deeply in Yu-Gi-Oh? It seems like a game that people just can turn off their brain for, not even worry about anything. Yu-Gi-Oh. He's not a deep thinker. Well, he never really had a brain to think with anyway, so he can't really he can't play Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, what was the suggestion again? I was not right.
Well, it would appear the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least.
And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case.
Now then, continue with the cross-examination, please, counsel.
Hold it!
Now I have to present the right evidence. So follow my instincts. My instincts tell me to submit my armband. Which is technically Kazuma's.
Objection!
Okay, so that's what I figured. I was like curious if this would be usable right now or not, but it was clearly not.
Objection!
I was like, it has to be the watch, but I was like, also was curious if the fireworks would work. But I guess they're just gonna be saved for later. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh? At the scene, we found this key in the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. This key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What?
Order. But counsel, the watch has stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot.
It is every hour.
the time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Even if it's true, if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection.
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was the one waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that which that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
Oh, hey!
Well, how do you explain it then? In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead.
Order, 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 counsel! That is a most extraordinary claim!
Objection.
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. Do you really think the Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, on that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission on the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right.
Wait a minute. You're forgetting that my legs went from under me, then I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
But I said I planted my hand in the dirty great puddle of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
His hand is on that, doesn't
Objection.
But the blood could be explained in a number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been...
Objection.
Why do you have to interrupt every single time I'm reading? Could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Well, it needed necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
The problem is currently being researched at present. You are correct. It's beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection.
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please. What are you trying to say?
and it was a bad thing that came from that courtroom.
spitting all over my mic because I'm doing that stupid voice. Why did he bring out a whip? Is he related to Von Karma? He might actually be related to Von Karma.
Oh, you listen to me. A street seller's ears are his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh?
Spare yourself that, counsel.
A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with...
Take that!
something like this. The culprit could have set one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious, the very fireworks that were sold by the witness?
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? I did it? My pretty little fireworks only made a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. Are you're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection.
But even the accused himself has testified that he said he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Baroque von Zeeks. One whiff of a match and my fireworks go pop. See, it's why people like him.
I feel your fingers, young lady.
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruto, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. Ah, no. It's whenever you like. Whenever you like part, that's important. A time device? Yes, exactly. A time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that the time device was employed to create the gunshot sound?
Yeah, I figured this was like the last part. I'm just trying to figure out what part of stuff I have. It's my armband. I created the time bomb.
Take that!
As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of those candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed to the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are?
How blind are you, old man? You saw it broken. You saw it clearly. He be blind. Justin, I think he has worse eyesight than you do.
There are goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was a scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier... Scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly have been a result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How can that... The fact that there's such a visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. Culprit somehow attached the fireworks at a point partway down the candle. After the killer left the scene, I was going to say serial killer, the candle slowly burnt down along the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud... Wouldn't it have blown off the other candles as well? It's a pretty decent explosion. And that's how these three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot.
This is not the most ridiculous thing you've heard, in a sense, Judge.
And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe, the previous day even.
Now, this only horses. All a lot of victims going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget the flame-colored hair even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Considering this... Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, the Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also noted the lack of time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Order. Prosecutor Asoji, what on earth do you mean by that statement?
I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked.
The defense assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried around his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard.
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent that what case the man was pursuing. It's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing, wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. I have zero clue what the case is. I'm just agreeing with everyone. Because that's what that's what it's supposed to be. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive?
It's suggestive. It's late night hours when I already think that the suggestive is already a suggestive term. Evidence is suggestive. It's my armband. We could tie you up. BSDM style. BDSM. Oh no, it's BDSM. BDSM style. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector
On the day prior to the incident.
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. You might assume it's part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
I like how I didn't put the hairpiece, but I did the loose paper, so it's like, it's just two ways you could go about this. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd, except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League?
So, you already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
Yes, they're a lot more handsome than you, and a lot more bright, and a lot more, like, able to see things. The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
Grand deception of what nature, counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
2 redheads?
It's ginger time in this courthouse, baby. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruto. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least.
Prosecution will make an immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 red-headed league conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asoji.
My tight pecs will do at once, my lord.
Very well. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
Yeah, that about was 2 hours. So, but hey, it's already almost 3. I am not going to go on for too much longer. If you want to blame anyone, blame Justin. He's the one who didn't show up on time. Because he wanted to go to bed. Like a good boy. It's all his fault. Stop being tempted by beige. No one goes to bed. If you're going to bed, that means you're not a proper Yu-Gi-Oh player. All right, so with that done, pretty much I'm gonna see if I can finish up case 4 in about a couple weeks. I should be able to finish it up in about a week or 2. Other than that, we probably should be able to finish up this game by end of February is what I guess. If I do it every single week and push for more consistent playing of this game. That's the only possible way I could finish up this game finally and shelve it, so that in that way I can start focusing on like Secret of Mana and Bioshock, because I do really want to finish up I do want to finish up those 2 games and then start continuing on with yeah, cause like if I finish up because like if I finish up Greatest Attorney, then I just have Secret of Mana and Bioshock to really focus on. I think I want to look at a walkthrough of Secret of Mana really quickly. I might be able to figure out where I need to go. Already did that. Okay, so it looks like I'm a little bit before the halfway point of Secret of Mana. So good news is that I can probably push that out within a reasonable time. So with the request of games, I can probably push out like Secret of Mana. Bioshock is gonna take a little bit, especially since like I have to backtrack on lots of stuff. Digimon Cyber Sleuth, I'm gonna probably hold off for a while until I finish up Secret of Mana, Greatest Attorney, and Bioshock. I know that currently with SWTOR, I'm also in the focus of trying to finish that up, which is taking a long time. But once we finish up Hoth, we should be able to push on to the other planets. So a lot of single player games are going to be probably played, as well as like multiplayer ones. So yeah, that's probably what's gonna be happening. Oh, finally because like I still have Tack and the Power of Juju requested by Emoto, got Octopath Traveler, and then Digits with his Kingdom Hearts 2. We're gonna get through all that later. Yeah, anyway, well, we're just gonna take it easy for tonight. I am not gonna stream any longer than because I gotta go rest up because I haven't been able to sleep well. But I will be seeing you guys maybe tomorrow. I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow. Well, I can't say I don't think, because the issue is that I have D&D might happen tomorrow. I can't exactly guarantee. But if it does happen, I will see you guys for D&D. If it doesn't happen, I don't think I'm gonna be continuing with I don't think I'm gonna do another, like, one of those, like, somewhat impromptu streams, mainly because that I usually like to take my Sundays as a rest day, and I need to do some other stuff too. So yeah, I will do more Great Ace Attorney, and then probably either Sword Tour or Secret of Mana next week. So yeah, I'm gonna try to really focus for the next 2-3 months to just finish up some games. Anyway, that's my plan. Everyone, I hope you had a wonderful start to your 2025. I know it hasn't been great for everyone, but I really do hope that whatever you guys have in store for 2025, whether it be simple like resolutions or like just hoping that things don't turn up array, I really hope you guys are taking care and doing well. I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in another stream or mine or someone else's, and just in general, just have a great rest of your weekend. If you're going to be starting next week for work and stuff like that, I hope it goes well and stay safe. Anyway, take care everyone. I'm going to be raiding Mdun because he is streaming. He's streaming Dead by Daylight. I'm just going to say hi to him. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. So we're just going to raid Mdun and do it from there. Thank you guys so much for dropping it by. Yeah, and just I'll catch you guys on another set of streams. I hope you guys look forward to rest of 2025, because I do have some serious more content creation plans coming up, and then probably going to be working on more on my Twitch and YouTube side of things. So look forward to that. If you really want to know, look forward to some of my content that I do, just anything, or if you guys are interested in certain games and other content, I hope you guys really look forward to some of that, because there are certain future contents that I think some of you would really, really like. So yeah, as a heads up, there are some promises I'm going to be fulfilling that this 2025 for both games I have yet to finish on stream, content creation, and all that stuff. Just as a heads up, I don't know when they're going to coming out in 2025, but I do plan on having it happen in 2025. All right. Anyway, take care, everyone. Say hi to Mdun. If you like Dead by Daylight, it does a lot of that, and also Pokemon as well. Otherwise, you guys can lurk, take chat, whatever you guys do. He's a chill guy. Anyway, thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Yeah. Have a good night. Bye.